Welcome to a special question and answer episode of Social in 60, the show about social media from the people that know it best. Today we're talking about technology and education. Easy. Hello and welcome. Today is actually a bit of a fun episode. We actually have a question written in from Larissa Wright-Elson in Anchorage, Alaska. Now we're dog fooding with this one a bit because Larissa is actually a part-time editor and copywriter here at Simply Social, but she's also a full-time teacher. And she wrote in to say, quote, I have a favor to ask of you, Tyler. I'm teaching a technology integration class for teachers. For the last couple of weeks, we've been reading about and discussing what the 21st century learner is and how we as teachers can find the balance between traditional high-quality teaching and using technology in the classroom. She asks, who and what do you think 21st century learners are and need to be able to do? And what do you want to tell teachers about technology integration? Wow, cool. All right, so in my opinion, I think a 21st century learner is actually someone that never stops learning. I loved a phrase that New York Times columnist Tom Friedman was discussing when he said that an inability to learn, change, or adapt is the illiteracy of the 21st century. And I agree completely. I think a 21st century student is someone that actually never stops learning. I was reminded of an article that I actually participated in the other day where dozens of people wrote in, including myself, and shared what is the most overlooked trait of a great CTO. And for those of you that don't know, a CTO is a Chief Technology Officer, or someone that basically manages the technology aspect of an organization. And of all the entries, the one I wrote was actually selected as the number one most overlooked trait. And the thing that I was writing about was cooperation. And the reason for that is, when you're talking about a great CTO, the technology actually usually works. But the real hard part of being a CTO is actually being a change agent. It's getting people in your organization to be comfortable with change and to use the latest and greatest technology tools that are out there to achieve business goals. And I think in a classroom, the CTO is the teacher. And is it really about technology integration or more about technology cooperation? Because as we see now with healthcare.gov and actually others as well, that's actually more the norm than the exception, because only 6% of big budget IT projects are considered a success. So I think if you really want to be arming students with the knowledge that they need to be successful in the 21st century, you've got to get them to learn with technology and then get to a point where they can teach themselves, and most importantly, achieve goals and objectives with technology in groups. It's not just about the technology, because no two classrooms are alike. No two classrooms have the same access to technology. So if you can somehow find a point to not just kind of integrate technology in the classroom, but actually get students cooperating with technology, both in the curriculum and most importantly with each other, I just think that's critical, because the people that I've met that pull off these successful big budget IT projects, they are people. They're very skilled managers and they're very skilled engineers, and they work great in teams. And this whole thing also reminds me of a great talk by Adam Savage from Mythbusters fame, where he actually talks about and says, growing up is like being a blind person in a room, and you're constantly going to be pushing up and discovering what's a boundary that can be pushed over and what's a wall that can't be pushed at all. And I would say learning technology as a student is very much the same way. You've got to be able to be in an environment where you can fail and experiment with new things. So in my opinion, if you truly want to be educating students, get them set up in such a way that they can learn technology, then be able to teach themselves, and again, work together in groups. In many modern workplaces, they won't teach you about technology, they'll just expect you to use it. So if you really want to be arming students for success in the 21st century, I think it's all about getting them to learn on the job as fast as possible. Thanks, Larissa. Appreciate the question.